Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Arcane Duelist. So, today we'll be going through a quick deck profile for the updated version of the Exosister deck. As we all know, we have received a good deal of support from the latest pack burst protocol, and it has made the deck a lot more solid compared to before. So yeah, without further ado, let's go through the deck profile. So for the main deck monsters, we have Exosister Martha. So Martha is the monster that you want to see the most in your opening hand. So it says that if you control no monsters or you only exit monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, special summon another Exosister at least from the deck. So with 2 level 4 monsters on the board, you can actually start comboing already. Okay? And next up, of course, we have 3 Exosister Alice. So Alice and Martha is actually the 2 only Exosister cards you want to play 3 of, because both of them are actually, they can actively try to special summon themselves to help you facilitate your combo. Okay, next up we have Exosister Irene. We only play 1 of, and we play 1 Sophia. So we play 2 Stella here is because Stella is the only other Exosister that allows you to special summon another name from the hand. So we also play the Spirit Monster package as well. So we have 1 Aratama, and we have the 3 Ichiki Sarari Hime. So this card is actually kind of insane, allows you to facilitate more and extend your combo. It also helps you play around Nibiru as well. And moving on to the hand trap package, we have 1 Nibiru, 3 Fualos. I think this is mandatory for every deck right now. We have 2 Ash Blossoms, 2 Maxis of course. And since Radiant Typhoon is basically everywhere, I've decided to put in 2 Droll in the main deck. But if you prefer to have Perulia instead, that's fine as well. And of course, since this deck can play Shifter, you will need to play it as well. And as we all know, Dragotail did receive good support from Burst Protocol as well. So we're gonna expect them to be showing up everywhere. If you have this going second, you just throw Shifter and you just instantly win. Okay, now let's move on to the spell and traps. So first off, we have Exosister packs. So you can actually pay 800 LP, add 1 Exosister card from your deck to your hand, except for this card of course. Then if you added a monster by this effect, you can special summon it if the other Exosister monster mentioned on it is on your field or in your graveyard. So for example, if you added Alice for example, you can special summon it if Stella or Martha is on your field. Okay, next up is the Exosister Betrayal. So this is a new card of Burst Protocol, and this is a continuous spell. So it is extremely broken because it allows you to add 2 Exosister monster cards, and after that you can actually additional normal summon based on the targeted monster that you use with this card. So for example, if you have Alice in the hand and you have Stella on the field, and let's say you have already used Stella's effect to special summon, you can actually use Betrayal effect, target Stella, and normal summon the Alice from your hand. And also it has another bonus effect where if a card goes to your opponent's graveyard, you can actually make your opponent banish it. So that actually triggers your Exosister monsters as well. And next up we have the 3 Forbidden Crown. So for this slot, actually you can choose to play other non-engines. For example, if you wanted to play Purge, the reason why I'm not playing Purge is because I want to fully utilize the new extra deck monster, which is unfortunately a dark attribute monster. And also you can choose to play Imperm, but I feel like with VS Cannon still being very rampant in the meta right now, it seems like Forbidden Crown is a better solution against them. You can stop them from linking up, you can stop the search and just stop their plays most of the time. And most importantly, it doesn't trigger K9 monsters. Okay, and we have the 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 2 Call by the Graves, 1 Crossout Designator, and finally we have the 2 Exosister trap cards, Exosister Returnia and Vadis. So these 2 cards are really vital when it comes to your combo. You need to have at least 1 when it comes to ending with a board, and thanks to the new Exosister, which we'll be going through it later, it's possible for us to set at least 1. So without further ado, we will move on to the extra deck monsters. So we'll start off with the new Exosister Carmel. This is a very strong card, and it's a very good support for the deck. So this card says if this card is exit summon, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of the turn, you can set 1 Exosister spell trap from the deck, graveyard or banishment. So this is what I say just now, where right now you can at least set 1 Exosister trap by the end of the turn. If let's say your opponent managed to hand trap you, to the point where you were not able to search for any of the cards, you can always just rely on Carmel. By the end of the turn, you just make one Carmel, activate its effect. At the end of the turn, you can set the trap card. And next up, we have Exosister Michaelis. So this card says that if you control this card that was exit summoned the turn by using an Exosister monster as material, you can actually quick effect, target one card on your opponent's control or in the graveyard, banish it. But also most importantly, you can use it to search for cards as well, because you can detach one material and add any Exosister spell trap from the deck to your hand. Okay, so do keep in mind that this one is generic. You can just use 2 level 4 monsters, but for Carmel, you have to use 2 Exosister monsters. And next up, we have Exosister Magnifica. So this card is very important. It helps you to disrupt your opponent, serves as a very strong end board piece. You can use it to OTK as well because it can attack twice. And also it has a very cool effect where when your opponent activates a card with effect, you can actually use the effect to basically send one material from its material back to the extra deck, and then special summon that name by using this card as material. So for example, you have Michaelis as material. When your opponent uses its effect, you can activate Magnifica, send Michaelis back to the extra deck, and then special summon the Michaelis by using this Magnifica as material. And then after that, you can use Michaelis effect to banish. So it's pretty cool. Okay, moving on. We play the 2 Exosister Caspatel. So Caspatel is also a searcher. You can actually use detachment material and search for one monster. But most importantly, is the fact that you can floodgate your opponent off from their graveyard. When you exit summon this card during your opponent's turn, you can activate the effect, so your opponents can no longer special summon from the graveyard. So it's actually quite strong. So next up, we have Exosister Asophil. So this card is just ridiculous against certain matchups. For example, for Dracotail, they couldn't even activate all the graveyard effects after they have fusion summon, so they can't set anything. So this card actually just instantly kills them. So next up, we have Exosister Jabrine. So Jabrine, other than serving as an OTK tool, because you can actually detach one material and all exit monster you control will gain 800 attack, it also allows you to negate one monster your opponents control as well. Okay, so the last 3 are non-engine. So we have Baguska. Actually, I might think that Baguska is not necessary, but for certain matchups, it's just very strong. For example, against VSK9. And we have Evil Swarm, Exetor Knight. And lastly, of course, since we are playing an exit deck, we have the Divine Arsenal Zeus Sky Thunder. Alright, cool. So now, let's move on to the 1-card combo with just Exosister Marta alone. So we will start by using Marta effect to special summon itself, since you control no monsters on the field. So you can special summon at least from the deck. After that, it's very straightforward. You will just rank up to Exosister Michaelis. Then you use Michaelis effect to detach one to search for the Exosister Betrayal. So using Betrayal effect, you will search for Stella and Sophia as the 2 names, and discard a random card on your hand. And since you have a normal summon, you will normal summon Exosister Stella. So Stella allows you to special summon another name from your hand. So we will special summon the Exosister Sophia. And with Sophia, you can actually draw one since you will control another Exosister monster. So we'll draw. Okay, and after that, you will overlay these 2 Carmel. So once that's done, we will overlay these 2 to make the Magnifica by sending the materials to the graveyard. And in the end phase, don't forget to set the Exosister Vadis, since we have already activated Carmel's effect. So what do we have here actually? So we have Magnifica here to banish one card your opponent's control by detaching one material, and you have Vadis here to special summon 2 names from your deck to interrupt your opponents to exit summon during their turn. And how do we trigger that? We actually have Betrayal. So Betrayal actually forces your opponent to banish one card from the graveyard. So that means they are moving out a card from the graveyard, which triggers all your Exosister names for them to exit summon. Okay, now, so for the second combo, we'll only do with just 1 Aratama. So use normal summon Aratama. Use its effect to search for Ichiki Saruhime. And since you control a monster with 800 attack, you can actually additional normal summon with Ichiki Saruhime. And then after that, you search for Marta. Before we do anything, you overlay to Michaelis, and then use Michaelis effect to search for a Betrayal. Okay, and after that, since you control an exit monster already, you can special summon Matra from the hand together with an Alice from the deck. Okay, and then after that, since you have 2 Exosister monsters, you can use it to make the Carmel. And then don't forget to activate this effect so it can set during the end phase. And then after that, we use the Exosister Betrayer that you search off of Michaelis. Use it to search for the Alice and the Stella as well. Okay, and since you control an Exosister monster, you can special summon Alice from the hand, and you use Betrayer effect target Alice to extra normal summon Stella. So as you can see, this turn we have normal summon 3 times alone. It's very strong. I'll move it over here for a bit. And you use these 2 to overlay for the Gibran. With Gibran, you detach 1 to search for a follow-up. So you can actually search for the Matra as follow-up, add to your hand, and at the end, you will overlay Michaelis and Gibran to make the Magnifica as your end board. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any other comments or you think that the deck should be built a different way, please let us know down in the comments as well. Obviously this is our opinion on how the deck should be built. If you have another way to do it, please feel free to do so. And thank you so much for supporting us. We're gonna have a lot more exciting stuff coming soon. Yeah, I can do this. Signing off. Woo!